Oh,
Morning.
morning, Livia. How are you?
Morning. I'm good. How are you and your daughter?
Yeah, she's good now. She's good now. They're at my all the kids are at my mom's house. See? So yeah, but she's much better. Much better.
Thank
So
God.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
for
thank God.
sure. So how was your weekend?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Thank you so much. I had some time to go over everything that you sent me. So thank you so much. That is super helpful for me. Like I have a much clearer understanding of your offer. I understand the size now. I understand why it's small. I love, the gestation period that you talk about. That's something I was like, oh my God, I don't know. It wasn't brought to me in that light, and I was like, this is just amazing stuff. So thank you so much for that. I also understand, the weekly GPS meetings that you hold and all of
Yeah.
that. So it gives me a much clearer picture of the client journey actually that you take them on, which is what I asked you the last time.
Yeah.
And so that's really amazing. What would you say is the most compelling reason why someone should or is coming to choose this over anything else that's currently on the market, do you think?
Oh well, there's a lot of different programs. There's a lot of different like opportunities, right? But I think this is the foundational piece for you to
Hmm.
really excel in them. So many people I know, even other people are running coaching programs, and they say people start their programs and then they fall off. So they may be on for a month, 2 months, and then they disappear. They don't even finish the program, right? And I think one of the main reasons for that is that they're not held accountable. They don't
Mm,
have any personal accountability, right? Even though most programs may have like an internal accountability where you got to go maybe on a coaching call or whatever the case may be, but personal accountability is not there, right? And with this program, it's to be used along with these any other course you're doing, any other business you're running, whatever it is that you're doing. You could have the map book there with you. I call it kind of like it's like Robin, you're Batman, and it's your Robin. You need it as that tool to make you be efficient in what you do, right? It's going to get your maximum potential out of you. There's a lot of people who, when the day's over, are wondering, oh, what did I do today? Did I even get enough done? Many people are not even, they don't feel fulfilled at the end of each day, right? This program will make you feel fulfilled each day. You'll know that you gave it all you got. You did all that you need to do to fulfill that day or even the week or the month or the year, right? So the reason why people will get on there is because they know where they are, they know where they want to be, but they don't know how to get there, right? And they may have a vehicle, they may have some kind of tool, right? But are they're not accountable, along the process to get from where they are to where they're going to go. So the map
right.
book is that tool that's gonna bridge that gap that they have.
And I assume you see progress prior to a year, right? We don't even need like if people
Oh,
and
from the first
I
week.
love how you broke it down with the 7 and the 11 and the
Yeah,
points, etc. So I can imagine that there's breakthroughs and things happening, much, much sooner.
yeah,
So is that well, I guess my question was, do you see that in your feedback, or are people initially scared when you say, oh well, it's technically a 12-month program, right? Is that
yeah,
something that holds
yeah.
them back?
Yeah, exactly. So initially, as we're getting people on board, we had up to like about 50 something people that came on board. And what I noticed is the first core people, they were focused, they were holding themselves accountable, they were diligent in using their map book. But as it started growing, right? And another reason I want to put in there, another reason why is because I was frequently following up and say, hey, you read your map book, you read it. Oh no, okay, I never read it, and then they'll go get it, they'll read it. So me being on top of everyone, just making sure that they read their map book, which takes about 5 minutes a day to do. It's not even a hard challenge, but it's just the consistency of people doing it, and the people who did it, amazing results. Like I'm a realtor, and I work with many realtors are actually getting on board with the program, and we have people who are getting in their brokerage, doing the top in their brokerage as a rookie. People who are in there consistently in years doing a lot of high GCI, so gross commission income. Sales volume. Like they're getting amazing results. you know, and in the professional career, but you've seen the program, it's a holistic approach, right? So also in their family life and, you know, like, you know, in different parts of their life. Yes, business is thriving, but business could really only thrive if every other part of your life is good. And yeah, people are seeing results from week one.
Big
We
one,
have
yeah. Yeah.
Jatinder, she just joined 2 weeks ago. And yeah, she's telling me like she's loving the program, and not just her that's realizing it, but the people around her are realizing it. So she already told me that she has a few people that want to join, you know, because they see the difference in her, and she's only been on for 2 weeks. So that's what I'm saying. Like locally, word of mouth, it's working, but I need to get this on a scale where it's like I could get this internationally, and then let people around the world be on the program, and then they get the results, and the people around them are seeing the results, and then they're getting results too. So the program works because it's based on universal laws and principles. So I didn't make up anything. You know, there's books, there's thousands of books out there. People are reading, they're getting the concepts, but there's nothing that actually makes them apply everything that you're reading. And that's what the map book is. You know, so yeah, so people notice results from after day one, to be honest with you. You know, like people like say, for example, a lot of people procrastinate, right? And they say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. But when you apply planting the seed by writing it down, so all these ideas that you're having, you actually now it's you planted that seed, you wrote it down, and you're gonna see it every day, right? So that thing that was what would have took you a month to do, you know, people are doing it in a day, in a week, and it's not just because the thing. It's just the fact that they're just holding themselves accountable to doing what they said they're gonna do. You know, they don't have the excuse of pushing it off too long, right? If they push it off a day, they roll it over to the next day, and then they roll it over to the next day, and then eventually, like, okay, you know what? I got to get this done. I said I was going to do it. It's been 3 days. Let me go and do it, right?
Right.
And then from that, you know, that whatever is supposed to happen next is allowed to happen next because you got that one thing done, you know?
Yeah. And so you mentioned you want to get it out into the bigger sphere and not just keep it local and word of mouth.
Yeah.
What is it that you're currently undertaking to do so?
uh Reaching out to you, reaching out to I'm going online, and I'm reaching out to, you know, high ticket closers. I'm reaching out to remote closers, to appointment setters. You know, I just want to obviously do it right, instead of try to figure everything out myself. You know, I'm reaching out to the people who are in this space, and so that, you know, we go through the path of least resistance, right? And we do it right, you know, so that you know, yeah, as it's going, I have, you know, like I'm reaching out, doing the right marketing methods. Like right now I do run ads, right?
You run it.
I run ads. But what I found is that when I run ads for the MacBook program, um they, you know, there's interest, but they don't convert because, like you said, you didn't know what it was about, right? It's kind of like you have to get in the rug to kind of know the scope of how effective this program is. So what I've been doing, and I'm going into month number 3, is I'm running a webinar series called Invest for Cash Flow, right? Where I'm connecting with the demographic of people that I'm looking to attract, right? And then providing them value through our webinar series, right? In our webinar series, we talk about investments, we talk about, you know, like just different things to invest for wealth, you know, and then of course, mental wealth is a strong component. So within that webinar, I just kind of talk about the map book a little bit, right? And then I have other people, the demo, my dream client in a sense, are on these calls, right? So the most recent person who joined, that's how she got involved. You know, she's a realtor. She joined on the webinar, and then in the webinar I have an automation set up, and I'm still building it. You know, and in there it has like the MacBook program. So she scheduled discovery call, the same process that you went through. That's why I asked for you to go through the process, right? So she went to the page, she booked the discovery call, and then I had a meeting with her, and I was just using some NEPQ on her, you know, and then yeah, she just said, okay, so how do I join? You know, and she was the first one that I actually had go through the process in this new way, right? And there was no hesitation. You know, she just like, yeah, okay, I need this. how do I join? And it was just me more, just asking what her goals were, why she hasn't reached those goals. And one of her main things that she said is that she doesn't have any support. Like she got in real estate, but she has her license and she has no support, so she doesn't know what to do next, right? And there's so many different courses, so many different things. She doesn't know which one's the right one, so she had kind of lost in that space. So then, I showed her, so here I'll even go through, it's one of the, in the MapBook files there, but it's like a thing about the MapBook program. Pretty much what I just went over with her, what's required in the program, right? And because that's one of the main things now too. Like I don't just want anyone to join; I want them to actually commit to the program. Stay plugged into the program, right? So I went through this pretty much this presentation with her, and obviously, like all this stuff can be cleaned up. This is just me. I just wanted to make sure that she was ready to commit. So number one, have the MapBook as one of your daily essentials, right? So is just like your phone, your wallet, your purse, your keys, have your MapBook with you. Are you willing to have your MapBook with you every day for the next year? Yes. Okay. So I told her we have to read our MapBook 2 times a day, right? And you got to be plugged into our program, right? So read it next day, 2 times a day, a full read. You start with your affirmatory declaration. That's a big picture. Then you go to your year. Then you go to books read. Then you go to your focus 11. Then you go to this week. And then you're going to your critical 7. And you're going to write that in. So we do this each day. Is that something that you're willing to commit to? He said, yes. Okay, so we have a WhatsApp group, right? In our WhatsApp group, we post 2 times a day, right? And in our what we put is post three words. That's all we have to post just to show we're plugged in. MapBook read. Are you willing to post that each day? Yes. Okay. And at the end of the day, you're going to post your score out of 7. Are you willing to do that each day? She said, yes. Okay. So your MapBook has to be completely filled in on time. So we fill in a new section every week, every month, every day, right? So at the beginning of each week, you got to fill in a new week, your goal set for the week. And at the beginning of each day, you set your goals for a day. Is that something that you're willing to do? She said, yes. I said, okay. So, this is why it's important to stay plugged in, right? And I explained to her why, in details, right? Because obviously the average human being loses their attention span 6 to 10 times a day, right? So, people have ideas and things they want to do. It's just that they don't follow through with them because they're losing their attention span, right? And why the MapBook's a book? Because we need their concentration. It's not in the phone. It's not an app, because our app can easily distract us. We could be in our phone and then you could be writing your goals. Then after you get a ping from Instagram, and then you go on Instagram and then you're on there for an hour and then you're sidetracked. So that's where the MapBook is something separate from your phone. Okay, you understand that? Okay, why we write? Why we write, our like the neurology of our brain actually is forming, some brain waves and nerves as we are handwriting. Do you understand that? Yes. Okay. So we want you to be in control of yourself, and not through this digital world. Okay. So we want you to plug in, unplug, and plug in. So get out your phone, plug into the program, right? And the reason why this is so important because of our subconscious mind. So I'm kind of giving them a brief understanding why we're doing what we're doing, right? Because as you suppress in your subconscious mind, then this is what's happening in your conscious mind, right? You read your MapBook at night. It's very important because that's the last thing you're reading before you go to sleep. And when you're in your sleep, that's when you're in the most subconscious state. Okay. Little quote just to back up what I'm saying. Brian Tracy, he talks about before you go to bed and when you leave to work are the 2 most important times to read and rewrite your goals, which is what you're doing in a MapBook, right? So as you're doing, it's working on it all night, and the discipline, this is what we're asking for you to be disciplined 2 times a day, right? And this is our 5 commitments. That's all we're asking you to do when you're in the program, and we can guarantee you results, right? And then finally, we have our 30-day accountability program. So this is what I just added, which I feel is amazing because everyone that's in the program now is consistent because you have 30 days. If you're not plugged in 30 days, then we remove you from the group, right? There's no refund, nothing. You just get removed from the group because you're not actually committed to the program, right? But we let them know this from the beginning so that they know hey, you know, if you fall off after 30 days, we're removing you, but you got to know that you're the reason why you were removed. You know what I mean? You're the reason
Mhm.
why the program doesn't work. So, you know, our program's 5,000 for the year, right? And you get, you know, the map book, accountability group, we get master class. We have a bonus, which is science of online business, right? And then we get to show you, you know, different things like setting up your funnel building, email responder, and then a power of webinars, you know, for whatever industry you're doing, right? We have our weekly GPS session, right? But yeah, that's pretty much the program. And then from there, I bring them what we do is we go to our map book order page, right? If they're interested and they're ready to go, right? Then we just have them fill in this details here, right? Fill in their details here, right? And then yeah, so there's the program. So it's for 5,000 for the year, or if they want to do the monthly option, right? It's $499 per month, right? So now as our salespeople and our closers, what we have here is we have internal coupon codes. There's 4 of them, right? One gives 20% off, one gives 40% off, one gives 60% off, and one gives 80% off, right? And that's for you to have in your bag, you know, in case like whatever the case may be for them to act now, you know, so kind of like after we go through, we want to bring them on this page, bring them through everything. Okay, this is the price, right? If they're good for this price, then yeah, they're good to go, right? But
Mhm.
if they want like, you know, if you want to work with them a one-time discount or whatever the case may be, and you want to give them maybe 20% off or 40% off, right? Then we have our codes. It's pretty much like say map 104 is 80% off. Map 103 is 60% off. Map 102 is 40% off. And map 101 is so map 101 is 20% off, right? So then they'll get their percentage off and it's only one time, right? And then after they just sign up, and then they complete the order, right? So the program that I have with the sales thing, I have affiliate IDs that are set up. So on this order page, anyone that's selling the program, obviously you have an ID that's ID to you, right? And then from once they sign on and they sign up, right now I have a pretty good history with Stripe, so they pay it out in about 2 to 3 days, right? So from 2 to 3 days, I could pay you, the commission,
Yeah.
that whatever's owed, right? And then even with pricing and stuff, like I'm open for everything. That's why I wanted to meet with you. I have a few other meetings with some closures as well, because I just want this to work in your world. Like, how do you feel it could be something where you could add to your list of things to sell, and how can I make it easy for you to sell, and then bottom line, I want you to get paid, so we help each other. That's pretty much how it goes,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
so pretty much
It's
that's the
very clear.
process.
It's very clear from my side, and I think you've got a lot set up already because I've seen people who didn't have their CRM or they didn't have everything as neatly lined up as you. So this already gives me a great overview. So is there anything in your current sales process that you would like to change, and what would it be? Or is everything you would say as it is set up right now optimized, and the reason you're getting some closers and setters is because you just don't want to handle the volume, can't handle the volume by yourself, or are there any other reasons? Like, what is it that you are trying to optimize here?
Yeah, so I want to get the whole process better, in terms of lead generation. I definitely want more ideas to get in lead generation, actually onboarding people to the scheduled call. Now I feel I have the pieces in place. Now it's about actually getting the people on a call. And then yeah, getting skilled people to assess them and fill that void, because I know the program can fill that void, right? A lot of people are enrolling in many different programs, and it's not filling that void for them, and this is because everyone that's joined this program has seen the results from week one. They've seen results in their life, right? So it's like I know once I just need to get people on this program, and then from there, and they'll see what it is. So yeah, definitely, I want everything to be better. I would love for the whole calendar to be booked. You know, like unlimited bookings. I would love for appointments nonstop. I would love for, you know, the closers to close clients. You know, I would
Mm,
love to see every day, you know, a new enrollment. You know, right now I'm not seeing that every day. I just revamped it. But I would say at the peak we were getting consistent, like
mm,
consistent about. But then it was the whole program. We never had the accountability part. You know, so people were getting in and they were up and running the first month. You know, and you know, people for them to form a new habit, sometimes it takes 60, 90 days, right? So within month one, people are falling off, right? And the reason why, because I didn't have the time to call everybody and say, hey, we need you to plug in, need you to plug in, you know? So it was getting overwhelming for me. And I'm like, you know, let me take a step back. And I wanna filter in my dream client. I want to filter in people who are successful or looking to be successful, you know, looking for, you know, a guide to assist them in their goals, like really ambitious people, right? People with high net worth, you know, that know the value of these principles, right?
mhm.
Because the people who are enrolling, that's who they are. Like they're in successful fields, right? So yes, just to, I guess, to cut it short, I want to improve the whole process, especially getting people onboarded to appointments, and then as they're on appointments, for them to enroll in the program.
So if I understand it correctly, you will still focus on the lead generation itself, but then you want to have the team ready to just make sure that there are people to take the calls whenever there's bookings coming in, and we can ensure, you know, that every single person is looked after and none seep through the cracks because, you know, there's no availability or things like that. Yeah.
Exactly, but also I want assistance in terms of what are the best lead magnets, right? Because like the webinar is great and we're getting people enrolled in it, right? And you know, but that's one avenue, right? I also have other stuff that like I have a guide. It's a five-step guide to a proper meditation, right? So no, I want to teach people how to meditate, right? I think that's maybe something I could even offer for free, you know, where people could download it as a free lead magnet, and then from there book them on one of our calls, right? So that's like an idea that I'm thinking. I don't know, what do you think about that? Like I just want some more lead magnets, kind of get them in, and then for us to be able to book that call for them, you know, that's the session.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, like lead generation is not really what I specialize in. And I really wanted to understand like what kind of, you know, revenue goals you have also that you want to achieve in partnering up. Because from my side, so I didn't tell you, but I do the setting and the closing myself. I don't like
Mhm.
to separate this between people. I think it's important to create that relationship. And already from the, you know, the triage call, I can get kind of a lot of information and know how to handle the client or the prospect on the
Mhm.
sales call. So I prefer to have those two myself. I
Mhm.
generally set myself between 15 minutes to 30 minutes for the initial discovery call and then up to an hour for the sales call itself. But I really like to cover that myself. That said, I really currently only work with funnels that are already built where I have a little input towards, you know, how they come. Like a webinar is one of the main ones that are being used right now. And you said for yourself, like that's where you see some significant I mean, your dream clients coming through, but it varies on people. And I wouldn't really be of assistance with the generation, right? For me, it's like once the lead is warm and
Yeah.
you have them in your net, that's when I jump in and I make sure, you know, I follow up, I follow through, whatever
Nice.
I can do, you know, until I close them. But
Yeah.
up until then, that's yeah, that
Yeah.
would
So
be up to you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And that's why and that's why you know, reaching out, you know, to see where people are experts in, and
Yeah.
then see how I could filter you through, you know, on that front, right? So I have meetings set with some setters as well, right? You know, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you know, people that you know that are skilled and want to partner up in a way where it's like, yeah, like, you know, as these sales go on, I want to be able to break bread. You know, I want to be able to break bread. So it's like, commission wise, you know, like I said, we could work 30 to 50% on commission front. Obviously, a portion of that would want to go to setters and a portion to closers. The higher portion to closers, because that's where the money comes in. But the setters, I definitely want to compensate people setting appointments, and like having warm leads so that our closers, it's easy work for our closers. So but yeah, like, so I see your angle is to get once we have the appointment set, to then you're willing to take them on a
I
call,
do
take
both.
them through the
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do both. I really like to create that relationship. I can sense a lot already what's happening in a first or initial call. I can understand their commitment, understand whether it's worth even taking them through the sales call or not. But yeah, for me it's both. So that's generally, like, your commissions are really high, but in general, I would say, for me is like, I like to run a 30-day test, with my clients. I don't want any commitments from any part. I would just say, if I partner up with you, for me, you get a 30-day test run. You give me, usually I get like 20%, 15% commission. I'd say, hey, I do it for 10%. Like in your case, maybe 20 or 30, we can discuss that. Let's do a test run and then see what kind of rate I can achieve. My aim is always a 50% rate. Might not be that, might be less, might be more. It really depends on, on the situation. It depends on how I can sense. Like, I need some time, of course, to put together my script. I have a really fairly good idea of what you offer. I would just need some time to familiarize myself with everything, with your CRM, with how everything is set up, my positioning, prepare the converting scripts, etc. But from my side, that's really how I would work if that's of interest to you.
Yeah. So definitely, I'm feeling your vibe. You seem like a very sincere person, right? And I'm all about energy, and just your vibe. I definitely feel that you're someone that I would like to work with, to be honest. And right
Tell me,
now,
like, in a perfect world, what kind of qualities does a closer need so that you are 100% certain you hit kind of the revenue numbers? And right now we haven't talked about numbers yet, because I'm also keen to hear from your side. You said you want a full calendar booked, right? So what does it look like now, and where do you want to get to in what amount of time, right?
Yeah, for sure. So right now, as I mentioned, it's like a revamping. So before, I would say earlier this year is when I kind of like stopped how it was going, because I wasn't liking the direction I was going, because people were not committing. But initially in our peak, like the previous 4 years, as we had it on, I was like that, and like I said, I wasn't really advertising because I was more focused on like the core people being on, but it automatically kind of spread because they were telling people, So I like initially was kind of like a focus. Let me have a focus group here, and let them concentrate on the thing. And then they were telling their peers, and then they're telling their peers, to the point where it's like, okay, if the people weren't going through the initial process of understanding what this program is, right? And people are just like, oh yeah, you just get results just being on it. No, but you got to commit. You got to actually do the program. You got to be plugged in every day, right? So in terms of generated revenue, it hasn't like this year, I would say maybe generate like 20 grand. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it hasn't been much, but I haven't been marketing it. So
Right.
now, we're gonna, I wanna market it and get it out there, to people. And I want the professionals on, because initially it was just me. It's just me pretty much doing the closings, doing everything. I never had any other closers on. It's not until I joined the Jeremy Miner's program, that I understood that there are remote closers, that actually people will go and close other people's programs. I didn't even know this existed. I thought, I had to do it all myself. So now that I'm aware of this, that's why I'm really going out. And I feel like if I had this before, when the momentum was going, then I think revenues will be way more, and that's why now that's the approach. That's the approach I want to take with it. But yeah, now definitely in terms of the proper lead generation, and so I'm having appointments and stuff, because I want to make sure that I'm doing the right lead magnets to get people on the calls. And then once I get people on the calls, I would want 4 remote closers to deal with them. you know, and whatever. I could be on some calls, but if I could get remote closures to do it, then that could be something that's automatic. You know, like once the leads are just in, then now this is automated in a sense, you know, and you know everyone's earning, and I want to pay more. I'll be honest, I want to pay more. You know, like you know, as like this system's running, I want this offer to be attractive to where remote closers are saying, you know what, I want to go sell that product because you know you're getting, you know, like at the initial value, yeah, I want to pay, you know, 40%, maybe 10% for the setters and 40% for the closers. So you know, each deal you're making over $2,000. You know, but yeah, that's the objective. That's where my mind space is, and I'm carving it out. It's happening day by day. You know, I like that you show me your position. So now I need to get the right lead magnets and the right people on the calendar. And as I start booking the calendar, I know I can. Hey, Livia, am I saying your name right? Livia?
Yeah, Livia, yes, that's
Okay,
right. Yes.
yeah. You know, and after I connect you with the calendar, right? And then after I guess as they're on, I guess they could be assigned, you know, assigned to, you know, you and whoever else is interested in being on board. And you know, and then yeah, you know, like I guess we could just monitor the metrics in terms of
So
closure
that would be, yeah,
percentages.
there would be constant communication between us as well. Like I always would want you to know what's in the pipeline, what's happening, who
Mhm.
have I talked to, you know, who have I closed, who have I not,
Mhm.
and then from there. But yeah, ideally, in an ideal world, that's what it looks like for me too. Like the things show up in my calendar, or you assign them to me in
Mhm.
whatever way. I have an availability slot in my calendar, you know, for X amount of days or X amount of time slots, and that's how I take them automatically without your input. Absolutely. So other than the automated process, which absolutely on board with it, that's how it should really be. What other qualities do you need from a closer in order that you know, you're certain that it's, because you know that it becomes part of your team, you know, and we're still
Mhm.
still representing your product. So what is it
Yeah.
that you would need in order to feel certain who you want to work with?
Well, yeah, I just want people that care about people, you know, and that's the
Yeah.
main thing. Of course, the sale is good, but I know that we're offering a service, you know, and as you see in our program is all about universal laws and principles, right? And law of compensation states that you know you're compensated based on the service rendered, you know. So we just want to offer service for the people. So even you know, obviously, when the people are there, we really want to diagnose them in a sense, you know, to
Mhm,
where we could best serve them, you know,
mhm,
in on their journey, you know, and then of course, you know, as they're in, you know, we could I guess maybe you know do checkpoints and see okay how is it going thus far? Like even right now, I follow up with everyone that's on, you know, within when they first join every day for the first 2 weeks, I call them and say, hey, how's it going? Have you noticed any differences? And then they're just sharing their experiences. And then after about 2 weeks, then I'll call them weekly, right? And after see, okay, how's it going? And then after about the first month or two, then after every month, you know, then I could check in to see how they're doing, you know, see how the program's going, you know, to get them through the year, you know, because, you know, obviously people need that check in, it seems like. But yeah, even on a remote closer side too, even if it's just like a text or a phone call, hey, how's the program going? This is this, you know, and then see from there. So we have people that are committed. So here, I'll show you on our WhatsApp group. We have people that are been on this program for 5 years now, right? And it's kind of like
wow.
once people get on and they commit for the full year, then it becomes a part of their lifestyle, you know. And you know, it's like they can't really go without it because they see the difference when they have
Mhm,
it, when they don't have it, right?
mhm,
And even people who fell off, they'd missed the 30 days. You know, I have two people that re-enrolled after they got booted out the group. They re-enrolled in the program and said, "No, this time I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm on it. You know, because they know it's personal accountability, right? So we see right now there are people that are plugged in. Now's their week or day, week set. You know, so MacBook Red. That's all you got to do. You read your MacBook and MacBook Red. You post your score, right? You post your score, right? They post their score, MacBook Red, right? It's such a simple process. Like we're not asking you to, you know, do much. All we're saying is just read your MacBook, right? And as you read your MacBook, plug in into our accountability. Let us know you're plugged in, and then post your score at the end of the day, post your score at the end of the week, post your score at the end of the month, and post your score at the end of your year. right? So everyone's year starts different, right? So if someone's to start this month, September, they'll go from September to next year, August, right? So that's their full year, right? So whenever they're in, you post in your score. And the beautiful thing with the map book is that when the year is done, you could go back and reflect on your year, right? You could see, okay, how did I do this year? Like, you know, the goals that I said I was going to do. Let me go back to each week. What was my scores each week? What was my scores each day, right? And then you could average out your scores, right? That's something that I do. Like, I'll look at my scores. Okay, let's say on average this year, my score is 3 out of 7, right? So next year, I'm going to push for 4 out of 7. I'm going to push for 5 out of 7, right? And that's something that you could personally go and reflect, see your performance, and then reapproach the program and then get better results. So from the people who enrolled, that I would say about 60% of the people have went in multiple years, right? Multiple years. And that was with the program being watered down. Now that we have the accountability, you know, we've kicked out a lot of people, I'll be honest. A lot of people got removed from the group, but we had 2 people who've been removed that re-enrolled. You know, they re-enrolled at the enrollment price again, right? Because, you know, they want that accountability and they know that this program is giving them the best results, right? So, you know, I want to put that out there because I want you to also know that, you know, the people that are coming in the program, you know, there's high retention, right?
Yeah.
And as retention happens, I want you to get paid again. So each year they re-enroll, right? Then that commission goes to you again, right?
Amazing.
It's not like just the first time that they enroll, you're going to get paid. It's like every year as they re-enroll, you will get paid.
Cool.
Right? So
yeah, absolutely amazing. I love it. I love your 30-day commitment initially, especially before getting the boot, etc. It's the hardest period for people to really stick through it, where it's difficult. So yeah, I love the program. I think you're offering something really amazing.
Perfect.
So with that said, like, how would you like to proceed from here? Do you want to continue talking to all the other people, get your ducks in a row?
Exactly.
Or what is it that what are the best next steps for you?
Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. Like I'm meeting with, you know, different people, and I'm getting it lined up. So, you know, I know where you stand and what your position is. I definitely want to continue work with you. So now I need to get the leads in, you know, get appointments booked. And as I get appointments booked, I would like to assign them, you know, to you. You know, as simple as that, right? And then so I'm meeting with, you know, appointment setters, you know, just even in terms of lead gen, you know, trying to, you know, getting ideas on lead gen, and then yeah, you know, Lord willing, you know, we start seeing more leads, and even the people who are coming in on our workshops, like that's what I'm saying, like they're coming in on our workshops, they're there, like the leads are there, like I have leads for days. So here, I'll show you. Right. So even these people, if there's a way for us to get them on board, because I know this is a program they're interested in. It's just that they didn't book on their calendar themselves, right? But I think if we go in and we reach out to them, you know, then that's a thing. So that's why I'm going to talk to my appointment setters, right? So you see here, I have, in terms of my database, I have over 11,000 leads, contacts, right? And these are people who are in either realtors, mortgage brokers, but there's also buyers, because I do real estate as well, right? But I do have this stuff filtered out, right? So for example, the Invest for Cash Flow is the webinar series that I have, right? So all of these people here are it says, okay, 136 people have registered. This webinar series I just started, I'm in month number 3. So all these people potentially are clients, because this is my demographic that I am looking to reach out to, right? Not all of them booked for a one of our MyMap sessions, right? But I know they're all goal driven, they're all goal orientated, right? And they have an interest in bettering their lives, like and that's what I'm saying. So I have all these leads. Obviously, I want to know how to better filter them, right? So I have my autorespond. I'm sending them emails and stuff like that. You know, it shows, you know, what they do. So this guy's a realtor, you know, so he's a realtor. I know realtors love this program, right? At the same time, you know, I don't know how to onboard them onto the map book. You know, they registered because, you know, they want to know more about investing, right? So this is the site that they're signing up to, right? So Invest for Cash Flow, right? Webinar series. So I have different speakers. What to expect in a webinar. We're talking about investment. We're talking about how to build, how to you know, grow themselves. You know, so there's myself as a host. I have different speakers. You know, this girl's a mortgage broker, so she's even an ideal client. She's an ideal client. He's an ideal client. But they're speaking at the event, right? To show people about investing in real estate, investing in businesses, investing in different stuff, right? And people are registering. So this has been really good in terms of lead generation, right? All of these people, I want to get them.
I'm sorry, I see now why you're talking in that aspect of setters, because in my eyes, the setters and the closers both talk to people who have already booked themselves proactively an appointment. But I see this, like these guys kind of showed an interest to something that you do, then they didn't show up, and now you need someone who does cold outreach basically to get them booked in. And that's where I would take over. But I understand now a bit more your logic of why you want someone else to set appointments with people like these who otherwise might fall off the radar. Okay.
Exactly. And a lot of these people are really warm. Like, I went and I called these people. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love the event. I love this and that, you know, and I'll talk to them, but I don't have enough time to go and talk to everyone. You know what I mean? And it's like kind of like right now I'm getting I would say, overwhelmed, because there's stuff that I want to do, but I need help in a sense. Like I'm getting the leads. I have a product that can change lives. You know, now I just kind of need the right people in place to help this system run. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. But either way, those are all calls that I'm okay with. Like what I don't do is complete cold outreach, you know, to people who've never heard of you, but people who are on your list for one reason or another, and where if I mention your name, you know, and they know where to situate, then that's fine. Like for me, so both of these things are okay. Just FYI.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So something like this, because this thing right here, what I'm noticing is that it's starting to build traction. So I had a speaker that spoke in my first month, right? And I have another event. It's coming on. It's on the 23rd, right? I'll even invite you. I don't know what your time. What's your time over
there? It's now 4:45. So I am CET, Central European Time.
Okay. So yeah, so our seminar is from 6 to 9. So maybe that'll be sleep time for you.
Yeah, that might be.
Which is cool. But well, I'll send you the replays of them. But the speaker from our first event, right? One of the speakers, she called me yesterday. I said, "Oh, I see you have a next session coming up. I have something great that I want to really share with this audience. Can you slot me in?" And I said, "Unfortunately for this one, I cannot slot you in, but next month I could put you in," right? So this is showing me that this is creating a lot of demand. You know, like even the speakers that are speaking at this week, 3 of them reached out to me, right, and say, "Oh, can I speak at the next one?" Right? So they see it as a platform for them to outlet themselves, but at the same time, you know, I know this tool, if they have the Mind Assist program map book with them, you know, then whatever they're doing, they can really take to the next level, right? So, and in terms of registrants, we're going to get more people registered, because now, as the speakers are even getting more interest in being involved, I'm going to be encouraging them to promote more, right? We need you to send us to your list. We need you to go and post this on your pages, because right now, most of the promotions on our end that we're doing, and we're getting the leads, you know what I mean? But even with them, I'm opening up them. If you speak on a session, you know, all the leads that are obtained from the session, we'll share the list. You can get the list too. You know, like at the end of the day, you know, you're helping promote the event. So for this one, two of the speakers, I've noticed they're promoting it. You know, they're promoting this event, which is really good. As this builds, that's going to be a requirement. If you're not willing to promote it, then you're not going to be a speaker, right? And if everyone promotes it, on average right now, each session we've getting about 30 to 50 people registered, right? But as we build momentum, I could see 100 people registering each session. Like and even more, right? And yeah, like I could send that list to you and you could call them, no problem. Right. And even now that, you know, like I see kind of where you stand with it too, even during the session, you know, I could plant a little seed, you know, that, oh, everyone on the session, you know, we want to follow up with, like, I could briefly mention the map book program. And yeah, we're going to be following up with you, you know, to see what your goals are and how we can assist you. So be expecting, you know, one of our representatives to reach out, you know, and kind of plant that seed so that when you call them, they're expecting your call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So even with that too, if you have any suggestions for me to kind of plug into the webinar as to what plans to kind of lay out, so that when you follow up with them, it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of easier for you in a sense, right?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I mean, absolutely, totally game for that. That sounds good. I would love to be part of the webinar, so I get a more precise idea of what's talked about there. But okay, if you show me a recording of even one of the
I'll send you some past recordings.
But yeah,
and people,
priming the people of, you know, saying they can expect a phone call, etc., really takes that fear away, and it's going to be much nicer as well for them to know what's coming their way. So yeah, that's good.
And then also another thing that I do as well is I go to a lot of events with this dream client. So with realtors, professionals, you know, I'm at these networking events and I'm interviewing them, right? So I'm interviewing them, I'm getting their insight, I'm getting their output. So it's drawing more people to my page. So the Create Wealth Network page, we have about I think like 4,000 or I think 5,000 followers. I can't fully remember. But my personal page as well, I'm building up because as I've learned, you know, like say even like Jeremy Miner, you know, he has the NEPQ, but then his personal page he's building, right? So I guess it builds your credibility when you build your personal page. So now I'm focused more on building my personal page, right? And I've noticed that, yeah, I'm starting to get more followers. I'm almost at 1,000 followers, but it's picking up pretty quickly, right? I'm putting my interviews on there with different people, so it's kind of getting attention. I'm noticing more views coming in and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm just doing, you know, piece by piece, just kind of like do it the right way, right?
Yeah, amazing, like we all do.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, yeah, so from my side, you know, it takes me about 5 to 7 days to really get prepared to understand how to, you know, write my converting script, because I really need to analyze the pieces and make sure that I plug NEPQ into this in the most effective way. Familiarize myself with whatever CRM you have, like all the bits and pieces, you know, to make the experience also smooth from the prospect side. And that's really it. Generally, my calendar, like I need to organize my calendars 2 weeks ahead of time. So that's, yeah, I need a minimum of 2 weeks notice in order to start and playing. And within those 2 weeks, then I have my 7 days to get prepared and to look at everything. But that's what it looks like from my side.
Okay, so perfect. That's perfect. Okay, that's amazing. I'm honestly, Livia, I appreciate connecting with you. And like you said, let's stay connected. Even if do you have WhatsApp or?
Yeah, I do have WhatsApp as well. Yeah, of course.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, so even if I could get your WhatsApp contact, is it your same phone number?
No, I'm not sure which one you have. Let me just put it here in the chat really quickly to ensure that you've got.
I have +39 351 801 106.
Yeah, that's the one. I've got a couple of phone numbers, but I'm currently in Italy, so that's the best number to reach me at. Yes.
Okay, nice. Well, hey, remote closing, live where you want, right?
Exactly.
That's amazing. All right. Okay. So yeah, so I'll definitely keep you in the loop with everything what's going on. If there's any other resources or anything that you need from me, let me know. And then yeah, you know, I'm working on putting these pieces together, and you know, Lord willing, we know we could bring value into each other's lives.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's at the end of the day, it's really just a matter of logistics, you know, how I get things assigned, how I reply, you know, in your name, all those kind of things. So it's all yeah, logistics really. But for the rest, I appreciate you sharing your product with me. I appreciate you reaching out. I really would love to endorse or help you reach your goals. I'm sure we can definitely work together on something great. So yeah, keep me posted on whatever you want the next steps to be, but know that I'm here for you.
Oh, that's amazing. God bless you. I appreciate you. I just sent you a message on WhatsApp. You confirm that you got that?
Yep, got it.
All right. Okay, great. Good stuff. Okay, yeah, amazing meeting with you. And let's connect for sure. Let's
Yes,
stay
me too.
connected, okay? All right.
Amazing.
Have
Amazing.
a great
Great.
day.
Bye bye.